I totally forgot to unmute the mic. Bowie Grata, Weep Nitty Bong. I'm Engineer Hoist. Let's start this over and welcome to all those people you couldn't hear before. Morris Shaw, one of our channel members, Razorquake 46, Blurry Prime, Groove Hamster, Altabot Phil, ILL 619, Victor was taken, Davish Tiger, William Wilkinson, Joey Johnson, Super VH, Boss Man, I think I got everybody that I said before. If not, I apologize. Just go read my lips so when you go rewatch it. But yeah, the comments are there. They're saved with the stream. Welcome. So yeah, we're here to talk about the upcoming event. We got a sneak peek of the bots last week. There's not a whole lot more information about them except they're officially revealed in the newsletter, but we'll look at them again anyway. Got a new Headquarters 18 building for you, and as usual, the details of the event and some crystal cracking, and we'll talk about some toys, including work that I've done towards eventually having a Sentius Magnus and or a Sentius Malus figure in my hands. It's a long way off, but I did some work towards it. So we'll talk about all that. Um, let's go ahead and talk about the news, shall we? This weekend's event is called Combination Lock. It sounds like we're leading up towards some combiners like Galvatronus rather, and Skyrain. I believe they were supposed to be this saga, which is why all the combination and stuff like that. But I think they got moved to next saga. They had the event titles already planned out anyway. So, come on. Let's do. All right. So take part in this weekend's event to win up to 5,000 Prime Core Shards, 120 total Shard Crystals, 300,000 Combiner Spark, and 20 million Alloy and Energon. This is an individual event. There are prestiges. Starts at the usual Friday start time, ends at the usual Monday stop time. There are 20 prestiges to go through and Super XP throughout the event. Since it's individual, you don't have to be an alliance, but it's okay if you are. We've got to be headquarters level 4, though, and tap the yellow event button, pick your zone, win the battle, collect the points, and then collect your prizes. Lafiti Henry, thank you for being a member. I think that was an anniversary one because I remember you've been a member for a long time. Thank you for your support. And the event battle zones, they were not published, but they're going to be the standard battle zones. I think that might be what it is from here on out, which is probably why they're not publishing them. And here is a list of the Totalizer prizes. Basically, you go through this list up to 20 times, depending how many points you score. And as you can see, 1,000 points per prestige is 20,000 total to complete the event. And that's all by yourself. It's not going to be achievable by everybody. There's plenty of people out there who can hit 20,000 without a whole lot of problems. Definitely will say just give it your best shot, and you'll get a lot of good stuff no matter how far you get. So there we go. And if you're not familiar with the total shard crystals, here's what you got. You've got an equal chance at premium 3-star, 4-star, or 5-star shards in varying quantities as shown on the screen. Big Bronze Rim, welcome. Good to see you. And so, like I said, Headquarters 18 is coming. And if you haven't seen the past streams, so we're going to go ahead and go over the things that have already been revealed, and we'll finish up with the new building. So, of course, we've got the Metroplex and Triptychon colors as usual, but we've also got Fortress Maximus and Scorponok colors coming as well, because Fortress Maximus and Scorponok will be available to play as Titans. I'm not sure if Headquarters 18 is a requirement to have them. I'm not sure if that's been confirmed yet or not, or if they will still be available even if you don't quite have Headquarters 18. But the colors are going to be Headquarters 18. So here is all the different designs for the different colors in the... Oh, what is that? That's the Energon Harvester, right? Yeah, I do love the Fort Max colors. That blue just makes it pop so much better. And your Energon Storage. You've got your Alloy Harvester. You've got your Alloy Storage. And this is the reveal. We've got the walls. Again, man, that Fort Max just light years ahead of the Metroplex colors. The Metroplex colors were always just kind of a little boring to me, just a little plain, the white and the red. It's all right. But, oh, I love those Fort Max colors. It's so regal, so warm. Of course, the Triptychon and Scorponok colors are good too. And Metroplex colors are fine, but I like the Fort Max. I'll definitely be switching to the Fort Max colors and staying there for the time for as long as I can have them. So, but I got to tell you, if I was the Decepticon, it would be a tough choice between Triptychon and Scorponok colors. I would definitely go Scorponok at first, at least, just for the difference, just to try it out. And I'd probably go back and forth on those, but I'm definitely sticking with Fort Max on my Autobot account. What do you guys think? You like the new colors, or you like the original ones? Go ahead and sound off if you're a bot or a con. Let us know. What do you think? Meanwhile, we can talk about the new bots. It's basically the same slides as last week that I recycled because they didn't give us any more information other than the fact that they're coming. We've got Bulkhead there sporting his legacy design, and of course, based on the Prime universe, and his nemesis, Breakdown, who will be called in-game Breakdown Prime. Not Prime Breakdown, he's going to be called Breakdown Prime, as if he had gotten the Matrix or something. But this is the original, straight from the Transformers Prime show, Breakdown, and he looks great. I got both of these figures. We took a look at them last week, so there you go. There is the Legacy Bulkhead, and there is the Transformers Prime Breakdown. He's actually the reissue that they put out. What was it, a couple years ago over on Hasbro Pulse? There was a 2-pack of him and the Air Viacon, the two Prime figures that were never released, got a U.S. release. So I did manage to snag that. It was an absolute bust because by the time I wasn't buying the imports when Transformers Prime was around, so I never did get him. And by the time I decided I wanted to get him, he was going for close to $100, and that was way more than I wanted to spend for a Voyager class figure. So I'm very glad that they put out that 2-pack. I was like, oh, I've got to get that. I was there on the second to make sure I got my pre-order locked in. And turns out it didn't need to be quite that close. But still, I'm glad I got it because I got it locked in, and I'm very happy that I got that breakdown finally. And as Super V8 said, he better mention Miko. that would be great to hear that. Where's our Wreck and Roll Bulkhead skin? Oh, I actually put that figure back in the other room. I had to clear it. You should have seen this desk. It was crazy. I had to clear off the desk a little bit, so I had to put the Wreck and Roll Bulkhead away. But I did give this Bulkhead my Wrecker's hammer there, just because he had to go against the Breakdown's hammer. So let's go back to the slideshow. And Super VH says, let's get crazy. And yeah, that's basically what it's going to be in the community corner. I just want to say, Lafiti Henry, in-game name is Blue Wave 6, so definitely go Fort Max. You got to go Fort Max all day with the name like Blue Wave, and he's blue. Fort Max every day, all days, says Mr. Steeler. Volcanus says Fort Max. Victor was taking Team Fort Maximus. And Champ Green likes the new colors. Yeah, so there you go. Bots Maximus Collins Mix and Match says, yeah, you guys are definitely liking the Fort Max. So y'all are with me. Yeah, absolutely. All right. Now the moment Razorquake has been waiting for is the community corner. Starting off with Razorquake 46. I love how he got the Seekers in a car racing game. He found, I don't know if this vehicle is in there already as is with all the different wings, or if you somehow modified it to give it those wings, but getting Starscream, Thundercracker, and Skywarp done as basically like Formula One or Indy cars are clearly modified. They're not standard designs, but well done getting this, because I mean, how else would you be able to get the jets done? So outstanding work, and I just had to get them all together here on the slide. So yeah, beautiful work, beautiful. And I know you put in a whole bunch of other ones, but we'll have to get to those another time because there was a lot of stuff. PB2 comes in with his Minecraft creation from Breakdown. Looks great as always. And I expect we'll see Bulkhead eventually. We might see Knockout coming soon. I'm not trying to put pressure on you, but I'm just trying to see who you might be creating next. Knockout would make sense because they're buddies, but he's not in the game yet. Although I have a sneaky suspicion we'll see Knockout, since Knockout is also getting a Legacy figure. I have a feeling we'll be seeing Legacy Knockout in the game at some point. But I have a feeling we'll also be seeing Bulkhead come out, since he has been doing Autobots lately. So it'd be good to see what how that comes out. And speaking of Breakdown, Senator Hydrangea, also known as Grand Galvatron, sent in this picture of the same breakdown figure I have, possibly the original one, and I believe it is actually, and it's hard to tell from the picture, but also a figure of, I believe that is a Zombie War breakdown from the Combiner Wars in the Grand Galvatron set. As opposed to Galvatronus that we got in the U.S., but that was Grand Galvatron in the Unite Warriors, as they called it in Japan. So they did have breakdown as part of that, and that is what that figure is. So very cool. And Hat Kid, I had to get this little trio there. It's completely ripped apart Red Cog and weaponized the bots you see here. That is Ultra Magnus without his extra armor. Apparently he lost his extra armor and decided said, hey, Red Cog, get over here, get on my back. And Mirage is also sporting some weapons from there, as is Bulkhead. So very well done using that weaponizer feature of the Red Cog. And we've also got Hat Glitch here, Grimlock. Looks like that's Starscream's crown that he found. Starscream apparently asked him to give it back, and Grimlock, along with, is that Dazzle Strike or Lionizer in his hand? One hard to tell from this angle, but Grimlock told Starscream, no, me Grimlock King, you bozo. Yeah, well done. And Prime and Duncan is coming in with, let's see, it's a new combat. He's got, I forgot what the name was. Was it Horizon? He said Super VH gave the name. Super VH, tell what name did you come up with there? Was it Horizon? It's like a sword, and the bot wielding the combat bot there does not actually have a name per Prime and Duncan. So Horizon, I was right. Woohoo! Yay, be in my memory. Yeah, so well done. Very cool. I don't know. I've never used Legos in that way to build my own bots or any other custom creations. I always just follow the instructions. It's crazy. But yeah, well done. Thank you for sharing. TBH Blurry Prime shared us a couple of bots. Looks like Wheeljack is having suffering from lack of cybertonium because he's stuck half in car mode. And Jazz appears to be having the same problem, just like he did in that one episode, which I do not remember the title of. But Jazz actually was originally stuck the same way Wheeljack is, where he's only like half transformed. And they had to send the Dinobots to Cybertron to pick up cybertonium. And I always remember they're trying to convince the Dinobots, and like, no, we don't want to go help you guys. We don't like you. And said, we need to get cybertonium. And Grimlock puts the two wheels in his head turn. He's like, cybertonium, Cybertron. Okay, we'll go, because he wanted to go to Cybertron. So there you go. Dill Cup, welcome. Better late than never, my friend. Ashker Ninja had quite a few more pictures in this, but I had to narrow it down to fit it on one slide, and I definitely had to show this off because it's got Hoist showing off his skills. He appears to be being chased by Dragstep right into an ambush where Snapdragon, Starscream, and Shockwave are waiting. First, he transforms in drop kicks Dragstrip out of the way. Not pictured as he easily took out Starscream and Shockwave, flipped him right on his head. Snapdragon, though, got him on the ropes, but as you can see there at the end, Hoist stands victorious. So well done. Thank you, Ashker Ninja 1. And that is it for the news and the community corner. If you happen to be watching someplace other than YouTube, youtube.com/engineerhoist. There it is. Bookmark it. Come on over. Hit subscribe. Hit the bell. All that YouTube stuff. Like it. Share it. Everything. And you can also hit the join button to become a member and help support the channel. Just like the folks come up on the next slide. You can also follow me on Instagram and Twitter @engineerhoist for infrequent behind-the-scenes content. And here is that slide that I was talking about. Thank you to all of our channel members, including Lucky Ducky, our newest channel member. Thank you for joining the list and supporting. And thank you, everybody, for your support. And also to our wonderful moderators who help out not only here during the live stream chat, but also in the Discord server, which the link for that is in the description. And that is the news. So, welcome. So, let's see. Just Elite is, hey, how's it going? Hat Kid can't make it. Oh, sorry. But you're here in spirit. Hat Glitch is good to see you. Prime and Duncan, of course, as well. I see. Let's see. What is a good core for Snapdragon? By the way, pulled a 4-star this week. Not sure what core to put on him. Well, the thing with Snapdragon, and just like the other triple changers and even special class bots, there's no real special cores just for that particular class of bot. So you're kind of stuck with just the general universal cores like Death Pulse or Trithelium Plating, or no, those are warriors. So I guess it's what? Attack and Rejuvenate and Vitality, maybe Tactician. Personally, I would probably put a Rejuvenate on him. Yeah, I'm not sure what I have, but yeah, Rejuvenate. Prime and Duncan's got a pretty good thing. You could, if you want to go Prime Core route, you could put a Megatronus on him. Top Shot would help. Yeah. What was the general's name that made Nemesis Prime in Prime? Are you asking me, or are you asking the chat? Because I know. And not only did he make Nemesis Prime, he actually sort of became Breakdown after Breakdown died. You guys know in the chat? I know who it is. Some of you guys out there got to know. Who is the leader of Mech? We'll say. Who is the leader of Mech? There you go. I'm not sure if that's how you spell it, but I know what you were going for. Thavish Tiger, Silas. There you go. Victor was taken's got it. Razorquake claims to know it. Just Elite, Prime and Duncan. Yep, you guys all got it. Amy, better late than never. Good to see you. Good to see you guys. But yeah, Silas, I got to tell you, out of all of the Transformers fiction, certainly all of the animated shows, Transformers Prime by far had the best human characters. The kids, as annoying as some of them could be to some people, I loved the kids. Jack was very well done. Miko's crazy. How can you not like Miko? I mean, she was basically us, excited about the robots, wanting to go with them. She was basically us in that show. Raph was just like the super genius. Fowler was very capable and good. Jack's mom even was very helpful. As soon as she got on board and wasn't kind of being the holding Jack back. And yeah, I mean, even Mech as like a human foil, a human antagonist, Mech was actually very well done. So I love the humans in Transformers Prime. Probably the best out there. Razorquake says, the only human character I did not like was Vince, that one kid that Jack hated. Oh, yeah, that was the guy who challenged him to the race, and they ended up saving him, and then he still was a jerk. Yeah, you weren't supposed to like him, so that's okay. All right, so we got done. I promised you crystal cracking, so we'll go ahead and go do some of that. And looks like I have a dispatch mission complete. Let's see if maybe we can get some... another set of premium shards from this loot crate. Nope. EMP blast. But that's okay. I did actually get quite a few. And So I've got 31 premium crystals. I did go in on that combat bundle, so I've got 80 of both Trip Up and Sawtooth chips, plus a few assorted Power Core chips there. And looks like we've probably got a free crystal available there. Yep. And of course, I do have 3 and 4 star shards there, but I am saving them for Fortress Maximus. I believe it's actually 20,000 for the 3 star and 30,000 for the 4 star. I thought it might have been the other way around, but I think it's 20 for the 3 star and 30 for the 4 star. So, but I'm not, until I know for sure, I'm not spending any of the 3 or 4 star shards until Fort Max rolls around. So I want to be able to level him up to the 3 and 4 star as soon as that's made available. All right, so let's, we got a G-Metal bot chip. And Razorquake is already dreading the possibility that I might get Shattered Glass Gold Bug at a 4 star. So that was a G-Metal attack core. That's not too bad. At least it wasn't a tactician. I have so many G-Metal tactician cores, it's not even funny. Okay, G-Metal XP. This is probably a gold XP. Yep. So how are you guys doing on the Cyber Pass? I just recently, just today, just got to the point where I got the last set of 5-star shards. The only thing left for me are the new skins. So let's see. Enhanced Ordnance. That's a good gold core to have. Oh, double whammy. 2 Enhanced Ordnance. Oh, that is very wonderful. Very wonderful. Wouldn't mind getting a G-Metal, one of those. I do have at least 1 G-Metal of those, but I wouldn't mind a few more, because I got a lot of jets, right? Just Elite goes from streaming for 2 hours. Now you join my stream. I got to tell you, I've done that myself, where after I hop off a stream and I go watch somebody else's stream. Yeah, definitely gets done. So since these are most likely Dupe City, we'll go ahead and do the premium crystals. We'll start off with that 1 straggler. We'll get a 2-star skydive, and now we'll turn on the X10 and we'll finish out the rest of these premiums 10 at a time. There's Broadside. He's off on a dispatch mission. That's why he's yellow. And there's Strafe. Speaking of Strafe, both 5-star Strafe and 6-gun, they are both in the lab researching at level 50. They've still got about a day left to go. And 4-star Pachyderm just hit level 50 right before the stream when he came back from his latest dispatch mission. Oktar, thank you for being a member. I believe, it doesn't say there on the screen, but I believe that was a monthly anniversary. Thank you for your continued support, my friend. Please tell me your secrets. Okay, well, there's really only 2 secrets in this game for advancing quickly. Number 1, play as much as you can. And number 2, spend money. Those are really the only 2 secrets. Everything else is pretty much luck. And I only say spend money if you can afford it. Do not spend your money foolishly. I personally have had to cut back on my spending quite a bit here lately, but I'm being more wise about what I spend it on. But you got to play and be in an alliance, because there's a lot of crystal shards available in alliance events, and not just individual events, but also alliance events in particular. So get in an alliance that does well and contribute. And there's a lot of people with multiple 5 stars that haven't spent a dime in the game because they play the game and they're in a good alliance. So really, that's really what it is. You got to put in the work. This is not a game where things come to you free. I've seen some of those games where the games come to you free and they're boring and stupid. The best games are the ones that you kind of got to work at. I mean, I don't like working too hard, but I want to actually have to try a little bit. You know what I'm saying? Grand Galvatron shows up and confirms that yes, the breakdown was not the reissue. I had a feeling you had the original one. Yeah, grind will get you anywhere in the game, but you got to be careful because there is a point where you could be playing too much and grinding too much because you got to remember at the end of the day, it is just a game. So you got to make sure that you're getting your schoolwork done, your work done. If you're an adult, you got to make sure you're spending time with your family, you're getting your chores done, and you're taking care of all your responsibilities. And same thing with the money. You got to make sure that you have the money for all of your responsibilities. Uh, so you got to make sure you're taking care of all that. And in the time that you have available, go grind as much as you can. I everybody goes through where sometimes they probably do a little bit too much and they have to back off. I've definitely done that myself, where I've run 3 accounts at once and I've had to back that down. So we've got a duplicate 4-star drift with a gold G1 drift core, and I think I have one, or I might have a G metal drift core actually. So we'll see. Jason Francis says, been up till 1 in the morning grinding Energon. Oh yeah, I've been there. I was actually up like the very first leaderboard event. I actually happened to have a day off the next day, so I was up way too late. It was probably 3 or 4 in the morning. I was helping grind for the leaderboard back. One time I think that I actually tried to grind for one of the top spots. It was like the first or second leaderboard, and about that time. Girlfriend comes out and says, "What are you doing still up? Come to bed." I'm like, "Okay, guys, I gotta go." And that was the last time I stayed up a ridiculously amount of time. So let's do these trip up shards 10 at a, or chips 10 at a time. So like I said, you got just like you might hear a lot of people talk about a work-life balance. Those of you guys in school, you might not hear that, but as you get into the job, you'll hear about work-life balance. Well, game life balance as well too. So you got to be careful. Yeah. So have fun with the game, but don't let it rule your life. Is what I'm saying. So we did get trip up. He was out before, so we did get some trip ups. I think there's a 4-star trip up out there for me, possibly to find. Clearly, I've got the 2-star. Because he already showed up in the Dupe City. Yeah, I got caught. Yes, indeed. I can't say that I know anybody from Sector 7 family. Nope. I might, but I just don't know that they are. I'm looking back. Stan Tarvin is here. Well, welcome. Good to see you. I did not see the Just Elite comment buffering a look off. I did not. It's difficult to see all of the comments while still talking. I tend to do that when I get on a rant or a ramble or whatever. I tend to talk and I try to look at the cameras so that that's good form on YouTube or whatever. And when I do that, I can't really see the comments. So I would just say, if I missed a comment, go ahead and say it again. His girlfriend, when he tells her his YouTube name is Engineer Hoist. What was your first choice? Hot Rod? Ha ha ha, because my favorite character's name is Hot Rod. I did actually tell her that whole story about how favorite character is Hot Rod, Rodimus, whatever. But I figured there would be a lot of those out there, and I wanted to be unique, and I like Hoist. And I also kind of identify with Hoist because Hoist is a mid-ranking maintenance engineer, and that's basically what I was at the time. And we just got 4-star trip up. That's right, baby. 4-star trip up. Very nice. Oh, he's posted if I was to send an invite to his Discord, would I accept it? Probably, but I don't really participate in many Discord servers other than my own. But sure, I'll accept. I'm in a lot of other people's Discords, but I'm hardly ever over there. So just fair warning. Wow, I didn't even realize you got a duplicate 4-star trip up like 2 crystals later. That's crazy. I will happily take those 5-star combat chip shards though. Clearly, Amy caught the duplicate. Thank you. Prime and Duncan says trip up in Prime League hard mode is very useful due to the Titan slowdown. Cool. I won't ever sniff Prime League hard mode, but good to know. And good information for anybody else out there who might be battling in that or has aspirations for it. Yes, I will. I will say that. How do you get your alliance to participate in events? Prime and Duncan has got it right on there. If they're not doing it on their own, it's a dead alliance. You need to leave and go find another one. That happened with me when I first started playing the game. I was in an alliance with some other people that I vaguely knew online, and I kept playing, and they all basically stopped. So there was an alliance. It was actually the Strafe, now Swoop at the time. He was Strafe originally. It was the Swoop leaderboard event, and I was the only one battling. And I was like, I'm not even going to get a 2-star of this guy. I cannot do this by myself. So I started looking for another alliance. Nontoxic Gamers said, "Yeah, come on over. We'll take you." And I've been here ever since. So if you're the only one working in your alliance, or maybe you and one other person, you guys need to bail and go find someone else. Find another alliance. There's plenty of them out there. How did I become commander of the alliance? Well, I was over there very early on in the game, and it's been 5 years since then. And there's been a lot of people. I don't think anybody else in the alliance is still there from the beginning. Red Alert! Thank you for being a member. So we're still doing the 2-star. Solja was actually one of our original members. He pops back in from time to time, but I think he's off, working with some other higher tier alliance. But I know Solja was definitely one of the people that was there at the very beginning. Most people, I think, has moved on or quit playing the game. So it's not that they only sometimes do the events, but when they're really good reward and they get the same thing, dude. I mean, if you really want that reward and nobody else is participating for it, leave, go do it. Like when they do these events for like 4-star Metroplex parts or the 4-star Omega, 5-star Omega Supreme parts, they do special events. Lots of people leave their alliances and then go on to special alliances made for that. If you go into the official Transformers Earth Wars Discord server, they usually have a channel set up to help people coordinate those special alliances. And then when you get done with that event, go back to your original alliance with your newfound prize. And if they don't want to let you back in, then it wasn't meant to be, and go find another one. You know, so now we're going for Sawtooth. We have 2, 3, and 4 stars available. Of course, there's still a chance to get some other bots that I don't quite have at 4-star yet. That is going to be our 2-star Sawtooth. Alrighty. Got that out of the way. Stan Tarvin got on the free chip today. Got a 2-star Baru and a 4-star Singe. Nice. Always nice when those 4 stars come through free tips. I got something from a free 3-star crankcase, I think, on my out of my Decepticon free crystal a couple days ago. I haven't done much with him. He went on one dispatch mission and got to level 10, and there he sits to this day. Because I already had those other 5-star bots on. It was like right at the beginning of their 6-day journey through the research lab. Sawtooth is from Robots in Disguise for 2015, correct? Yes, correct. So is Tricerashot. I never actually got any of those little mini cons from that show. I got quite a few of the figures that were, what were they called? Warrior class? So I got quite a few of the RID 15 bots, but I didn't get any of the specialized ones. Like, I think they called them deployers, where it was Drift and Fracture, I think it was. Where the deployers, they had like the little mini cons and you gotta shoot them out. And then they had some other packs where you could, get them separately. I never did pick up any of those. Victor, remembering my history, says I got a 4-star drag strip from a free crystal. I believe I got a 4-star Black Arachnia at some point. Okay, so this 2-star Sawtooth is showing up as new, which means it's either a 3 or a 4, because we already got the 2 stars. So we'll see that one come through as a duplicate here momentarily. Or at least that's usually what it means. Yep, there you go. That's the 3-star. That one was actually the new one. So we didn't get to see the lights light up, which is disappointing. That's a pretty common glitch that tends to happen when you're doing them 10 at a time. But it's all good. I mean, you still get the bot, even though it displays and the animation is messed up. You still get the actual bot, so it's all good. Heard your name, did you? I do like Tricerashot, though. Works great for Cheetor and Perceptor. They last so much longer now. That's only halfway through the Sawtooth chips. I do have a Twitch channel, but I haven't streamed over there for a while. It just wasn't worth the trouble working over there and over here. And I kind of regret going over there because I ended up losing people watching regularly when I went over there. And when I came back, there's definitely not the same level of people watching. I do appreciate all of you guys who are watching, but it's kind of nice when there were more people. And maybe all those maybe it was people drifting away anyway. But yeah, I kind of regret going over there, but it was worth a shot. Let's see. Red Alert's daughter's off to college. Spare room has new flooring in it. Starting to move furniture in soon. Oh yeah, Transformer shelves, right? You got a new display room. There's another 3-star Sawtooth. Oh, here we go. 4 stars. Sawtooth. Got the hat trick. That's right. Yeah, we've got to put a bet in there which stops by. Yeah. Private Duncan says, still watch the replays, but couldn't chat because he didn't want to make a Twitch account. That's why I figured a lot of people didn't follow over there. And that's why I said I kind of regret doing that because I'm pretty sure it did, alienate a few people. So, but yeah, 4-star Sawtooth. So we got this trifecta. So anything else that we get from the rest of these chips is going to be bonus. So we actually completed. We've got all of the trip ups now. We got all of the Sawtooths. So anything else is just going to be bonus. But it will probably be doopity doop doop doop. Yeah, there you go. Amy said it before I could even get it out of my mouth. Doop City. Yeah, some of you channel members out there, go ahead and throw in that custom emoji, to celebrate the Dupe City that's coming up in these final crystals. You guys got it. Go ahead, throw it up there. Wolfman's calling it out too. Rung. Do like Rung. I'd like to get the 5-star Rung at some point for my 5-star Ratchet. There you go. Red Alert's got it. And that completes this episode of Dupe City. Interrupted so rudely by the full trifecta of Sawtooth and a 4-star trip up. Ooh, do they have the story? I lost that word for a second. No story. No stories. Oh, let's check these. What do we got here? 5 shock towers, 15 battles, 3 shield generators. The first 2 are definitely doable. I don't get that many HQ. I guess, what is it, 16 or 17 that has the generator? So sometimes I do. So I might be able to pull that off. But here I am. You can see I'm very close to getting the G2 skins. And 10 days left. It's almost a given. It's just a matter of when. So there we go. So I do see a question out here. I think it's been asked a couple of times. How do I feel about Ironhide? Well, it depends. What are you talking about Ironhide? Are you talking about in-game Ironhide? I think he's a solid tank, but nothing special. Ironhide in general, he's a classic bot. It's definitely one of the top guys that's there. If you're talking about the is it officially revealed or is it just leaked? The Studio Series 86 Ironhide, which is basically kind of like the Siege Ironhide, but or it's actually more like the Earthrise Ironhide, but instead of having his camper top essentially be a separate piece, they actually built it into the bot and part of the transformation. I think he looks amazing. And even though I've already got Siege Ironhide and Earthrise Ironhide and Siege Ratchet and Earthrise Ratchet and Shattered Glass Ratchet and a couple of the Ironhide Quintesson clones. Even though I got a lot of those figures, I'm definitely getting that Studio Series figure because he looks great. And it looks like the best one out there. So, no cutscene for Sawtooth, unfortunately. Yeah, it looks like we're lagging a little bit. Am I moving too fast? I think it cleared itself up. I guess we'll figure it out. See how it goes. I think that's it for the Earth Wars stuff. So if that's all you guys are here for, thank you for coming by. We'll see you later. In the meantime, and Larkin's Lair, welcome. Thank you for continuing to be a member. I'm looking at the chat in StreamYard, so it doesn't actually show me all of that stuff to see how many months or whatever, but I do remember you guys, everybody who's put up there as a member. I do know you're already members, so that's how I'd say thank you for continuing. Yeah, so we got these two guys coming to the game. Yeah, I thought we'd take another closer look at them. So we've got Bulkhead here, complete with my Wrecker's Hammer. I still got a little. I've been printing some other stuff in the meantime, but there are still a little bit of tweaks I'd like to do on that to try to get a better product. But there we go. But yeah, this is your Legacy Bulkhead, and even though the Wreck and Rule Bulkhead has the okay, we definitely got some lagging here. Hang on, let me try something. It's going to go dark for a minute. I don't know if that's going to help anything, but we're going with it. So yeah, even though the Wreck and Rule Bulkhead, it does have Breakdown's hammer, I figured I'd go ahead and give him one of these, at least for the show. Yeah, we got still got a little bit of a lag again, but anyway, here's the Breakdown. And there goes the music acting all weird. I have no idea what's going on because I really don't have anything else open. There must be some kind of weird thing going on in the background. But yeah, so this is the reissue that they put out in Generation Selects, including an Arms Micron there for his hammer. Red Alert says Wreck and Rule Bulkhead is coming on Saturday. Very cool. So let me go ahead and show you one of the things that I printed. I think that's all I have. I spent all day. I started Friday night for about an hour, maybe 2 hours Friday night, and then I spent all day Saturday printing this guy. Oh, that's a very lagged. It's kind of bright. Let me see if I can't... No, that's not what I need to do. That's the wrong one. Oh my goodness. Come on. Let's get back to where I need to be. Wrong way. See if we can turn this exposure down a little bit. So this guy is from Funbee Studios. And this is a Paradron Citizen. He's just a generic Paradron Citizen. If you watch the Fight or Flee episode where they go meet Sandstorm and the Paradron medic, that teal RC and Ultra Magnus says, "That's the most beautiful thing I've ever seen. All right, give me the bomb." So it's this guy's homeworld, and I have it. He could use some paint, but like for the eyes and some of the other details or whatever. But it was pretty cool. It was the first full bot that I actually printed. And he does have some issues, like the ball joints. I could have done a little bit better prep on the ball joints to get them sanded in. And this one happens to be a little loose. And I think I still need to work on my walls a little bit because they got some extra lines. I know you can see the lines on a 3D print, but I think it's a little too inconsistent. So I still got a little bit to do, but it was pretty cool. Because he's got an upper arm, a lower arm. There's a whole separate shoulder peg. He's got the pauldron that goes on there. The head, he's got a neck piece. He's got a waist swivel. He's got, leg articulation that comes off. His feet joints just kind of peg into the bottom. But it didn't quite want to stick very well. I did super glue it, and it appears to be holding now with the super glue. It does come with two sets of hands. One so you can print them to where he's got a fist where you can hold stuff, or you can print an open one And I kind of like that, so to where he's kind of just waving hi, because the Paradron citizens are all very friendly. So I was very happy with that, and yeah, so it's pretty cool. I'll throw some paint on him at some point. Um, it's like I always tell people who are self-conscious about the things that they create. Don't point out the flaws. Obviously, you'll see the flaws in the things that you create, or in your own house, or in your pictures of yourself, but nobody else does. So, like, I look at this guy and I'm seeing all the things that I'm not real super happy about and think could be better, but I know you guys aren't. So I'm going to quit telling you about it. I'm going to take my own advice. Red Alert is asking from season 3. Yes, because Ultra Magnus and Hot Rod, I think Cyclonus and Scourge went over there. It's like, oh, these people are wimps, and they went and took over. And the Autobots went to try to save them, and they really couldn't save them. And as they were leaving, Sandstorm was very upset. I can't believe my homeworld died. And Rodimus very rudely says, who cares? Cybertron's a better place anyway. Get over it. So you had that gem from Rodimus Prime. And then, of course, the one from Ultra Magnus. It's the most beautiful thing I've ever seen. All right, give me the bomb. And then they blew it up. Crazy. Great episode, though. So let's turn this back to where it usually is. I think that's it. Yeah, somewhere around there. So the Paradron citizen and acquisitions. I was very happy about another from the pack of highlighters. We've got Holler from the Velocitron Speedia 500 Legacy set from Walmart. He actually showed up from my pre-order. He showed up in the mail in a bag, which damaged the box, which is fine because I don't care about the box because I take them out anyway. And so there he is. He's really cool. Did I really need a green grapple? Yeah, because I'm addicted. Rodimus is savage. Yes, he is. Yeah, so there you go. It's basically exactly what I described. It's grapple, but he's green. He's even got the claw thing. Now, here's an interesting thing, and this is something I'm going to work on, and it should be relatively easy to do if I can make myself sit down and actually do it. I didn't catch this myself. I saw it on Facebook. Somebody pointed it out. I'm going up here. I kept this package. I don't really throw away the packages. In fact, I've already gotten rid of all the other ones, but I kept this one because I wanted to show you and also for a reference. Look at how he's posed with his little claw thing. He's got his little gun thing attached in the claw. Right? So I guess we'll go back over here to show it. So I take that off. You put the claw in, and I don't know if you can see it, but if you look, there's like a little C-clip in there. That looks great. That's great. Okay, now let's attach this. Wait, it's just a 5mm post. It doesn't attach. There's no way to attach it. I mean, that would look cool though, right? To be able to put something like that in there. And then it occurred to me, ding, hey, I'm getting into this whole 3D printing game. Let's go and design something that might be able to fit in there. Now, the fitting through there, that's pretty small. So I don't think doing like what they probably originally thought and putting something through there to slide in and then put that in there, that would probably snap almost immediately. So what I have in mind, which I just kind of really thought this out earlier, is maybe something that'll kind of go surround this center section, kind of plug over that, and then with a 5mm hole in the center to put this in. So that'll probably be the next thing that I actually do to try out my new designing skills. So keep an eye out. Keep an eye out for that at some point. In the meantime, his claw and I did verify, if you have Earthrise grapple, same thing. The claw has that same little notch. And so whatever I end up coming up with will be able to be used for Holler or grapple. Inferno is completely different. He doesn't have the little claw thing. He's got the wings, so it doesn't work. But grapple and holler, you will be able to work with that. So, let's see. How do you feel about G1 Ironhide? I know you've been asking me this. I guess I gave you the answer to that about everything except G1 Ironhide. I will tell you, G1 Ironhide was heroic nonsense. That's all I'll say about that. And no more questions about Ironhide for the stream. You could maybe ask again next stream. But there's your answer. How do I feel about G1 Ironhide? Such heroic nonsense. Yeah. So there's that. I did happen to pick up a couple of other things. These were just I didn't even have these pre-ordered. These were absolute impulse purchases because I was out on my 80th trip, not literally, looking for Cosmos. But I ended up going to Target. I know Cosmos isn't there, but I figured I'd go to Target anyway, just because I was out and I was, anytime I'm in Walmart or Target, I go swing by the Transformers section, and I usually leave with nothing but disappointment. But this time I left with a couple of bots. So I got Studio Series Sideways, which was actually a pretty cool little bot. My first impression when I saw him was I thought, oh, this guy is like basically like a remold of Barricade. But when I actually looked at him compared to Barricade, it's absolutely nothing like Barricade. The only thing basically close is the fact that the entire side of the car becomes their arms, and they've got gigantic, lanky arms and short, stubby legs. It's just they look similar, but they're nothing alike. He's got this huge kind of cannon thing, which he does actually kind of hold, because you put it over his fingers, and his thumb actually sits outside, and you actually clip his thumb on to hold it in place. So he is actually holding it. Now, I will say, when this came out, he had some loose joints, like his feet are on ball joints. They were ridiculously loose. I had to tighten them up, and you can kind of see the arm wasn't actually that bad, but it's got some looseness issues. But he looks really cool. And he didn't last long in the movies because he was they called him Sideways, but they really should have called him Lengthways, because that's how he ended up after Sideswipe was done with him. So he's not really sideways; he's more lengthways. I had to get that pun in again because I like it so much. And then for some reason, I bought another Bumblebee as if I needed another one. This was based on the Dark of the Moon Bumblebee at some point. And I haven't pulled out the figure to see for sure, but I'm pretty sure he's just like one of the other Studio Series Bumblebee figures, except he's got a slightly different stripe pattern on his hood. And this one's got spoilers, whereas the other one did not have spoilers. So that was enough of a difference for me. And also, I just, I make poor decisions sometimes when it comes to buying figures. But yeah, so you got another Bumblebee, and is all right. If you already have a Bumblebee or 20, you really don't need this one. But if you want a Bumblebee, then there you go. Jason Francis says he's way too short to be Bumblebee. I haven't compared him with any others, but all the Studio Series line are basically this kind of scale. They're kind of shorter, on the shorter side. I think that's all I had for acquisitions. How many records are there? Oh, there's quite a few of them. If you're talking about the Wreck and Rule line, there are Impactor and Spindle. There's Leadfoot and Master Dominus. There's Bulkhead. There's Springer. And there's Twin Twist. So there's 7 in the Wreck and Rule line. But there's also many more out there that are not weren't in that Wreck and Rule line. I showed you guys the hammer. I showed you guys the hammer, right? Well, even if I did, I'm going to tell you again. So this is the hammer. The base plate comes with the lead foot and the Master Dominus. I'm pretty sure I showed you this. The Cybertronian text. This is for anybody who wasn't here last time. The Cybertronian text on the bottom says Emirate Zeron, who was the creator of the Wreckers in the comics. And there's a little plaque text there, and it says creator of the Wreckers Initiative. I cannot read the writing. I pre-translated it, and I thought it was really cool, and I wanted to share it, and this is the second time sharing it. And, of course, this hammer here is what I based my hammer design on. I took this and took measurements of it and translated it down to similar measurements. So the hammer that I designed and printed is based on this cardboard hammer right here. Now, one of the things I am going to print is Funbee Studios, the same guy or people, I'm not sure, that designed this Paradron guy. They designed from the packages of the Wreck and Rule. In the background, there's this large statue of a figure holding a Wrecker's hammer, and that is a statue of Emirate Zeron. And they designed a 3D printed model. It's in multiple pieces of that statue, and I am definitely going to be printing that at some point. Not sure when, but I'll definitely be printing that. I've already got a Wrecker's shelf, and I'm going to have to expand my Wrecker's shelf, and I'll definitely get that thing put up there. So, of course, I will share that with you guys when I do. Speaking of Wreckers, who all is in the Wreckers? Well, I don't know about anybody else, but to me, this guy is in the Wreckers. That's right. Lift Ticket for me is in the Wreckers. I gave him a hammer, and I even designed this little badge, which was originally intended for the hammer that Wreck and Roll Bulkhead came with. This one didn't come out the best, but you still get the idea. It's just got a 5mm peg. You can plug it right into any armhole or whatever, or the side of a hammer or whatever. And so you can give bots a Wrecker's badge. Why do I say this guy is a Wrecker? Because he literally says Wrecker on him twice. So who is a Wrecker? This guy is a Wrecker. If you were to put this guy and any other bot next to somebody who doesn't know anything about Transformers, you'd say, you tell me which one of these guys is a Wrecker. They're going to go see this guy and see this on here. They're going to say that red one there with the hammer, that guy's a Wrecker. So there you go. Lift Ticket, he's a Wrecker in my book. I don't think he really is in official canon or whatever, but I mean, he's literally labeled Wrecker. And, by that same token, he doesn't literally say it. But this guy's he's a Wrecker too. Because, Wrecker is another name for a tow truck. So I actually had that kind of like as a tagline for a while. I never really publicized it, but I went by Hoist as the original Autobot Wrecker. Because, he was a tow truck, which is a Wrecker. And before the Wreckers even existed, he was there. So Hoist is the original Autobot Wrecker. In a very literal sense. Oh, I just felt it. Speaking of which, I worked out some issues that caused these chains to be bad. I really need to try another pass at printing those. See if I can't get something get a better job done on those. So yeah, so there is that, and I have here in my hand. It's probably not going to make a whole lot of sense to you guys, but those are some sketches that I made, just kind of brainstorming some ideas. What would be the best way to show that? Probably like this. So I was working on some Sentius Magnus feet because I'm trying to figure out how to actually get him to transform where his feet, he stands on his feet, but then they transform and flip up onto the front of his leg. How do you do that? So I was trying to think about that. Yeah, the artist, right? Yeah, look at this terrible drawings. But I was like, I know I've seen that move before. I know I've seen it before, and I couldn't. I was like, what bot was it? I was racking my brain. I did figure it out, but even before figured it out. I kind of already came up with this idea. Yeah, so a couple of things you could do. You could kind of put a spot in the middle there and put 2 pieces through with the peg hole, and then it would kind of just flip around. But the problem is the feet are kind of a trapezoid. So if you once you flipped it around the other way, it would kind of the trapezoid would be broken. Or if you did a square like I show here, it would be broken both ways. So I thought the other thing to do, and this is kind of how the bot I was thinking about doing it, is you basically just leave a notch out of the back and make room for it, all the way through, and make room for basically a ball joint. So it's there, and then you flip the ball joint up, and you can spin it around and then flip it. It's kind of difficult to demonstrate in a 2D drawing. And so I was like, well, how do I print something like that on a solid piece and get it in? So I was like, well, let's not do a solid piece. Let's do like Hasbro or whatever. Then print 2 pieces that go together, and you put the ball through and have like a flat bottom. So it's getting complicated very fast. And then I started thinking, it's like, okay, so there's a little bit of how I think the legs can go together. And I started working on the hinges, and it might be 2 pieces, might only be 1 piece. And so, but when he flips his feet up, he has to flip out basically like a hand. So how do you do that? Where are you going to have the room? So I don't know if this is going to work, but this is my idea. So if you didn't have to have that, you would have something like this. You'd have kind of like a piece that with the hinge on it and your ball joint, and that would go into the foot. But the way let's instead of doing that, let's put another ball joint kind of off as a nub. So when you rotate this up 90 degrees, which is in the position for the foot on the angle, this ball joint would then be down at the bottom. And if you put the little hand piece on there, that'll now be pointed down at the right place. So that's kind of my idea for how the foot is going to work. And that's about as far as I've gotten so far. And my inspiration for that, without even knowing it, I kind of had that idea. But then I verified how it works is this is one of 2 figures that has that. This is Mastermind Creations Comatus. And he was based on, oh my goodness, what was the guy's name? It just went blank. He was Drift's former commander. Some of you guys out there got it. But anyway, there was another figure of Impactor called Spartan. It's killing me that I can't remember. What is this guy's name? Anyway, but so here is his the leg. So you can see his foot is down there, and he's got a hinge here, and he's got a ball joint which is open on top and bottom and off to the side. The way my design is, it goes towards the back, but so you kind of bring it out, you spin it, flip it upside down. And then you spin it around properly, and then it attaches on the side. There's a little tab that it attaches into. Maybe it's this other way. So there you go. And then you flip it around, spin it around, and get it angled right again. So there we go. We take it, you flip it around the other way, and then you flip it up just like that. That is how the Sentius Magnus Turmoil. Thank you, Red Alert. I couldn't. That name was just completely out of my head for the minute. That is how Sentius Magnus and Malice Feet is going to work. Something similar to that. And I happened to notice before I even I had already thought of doing the 2 pieces, and that's basically what they've done. They've got the upper piece, and then they've kind of got the bottom piece there held in with screws. To capture the ball joint. So the ball joint does not snap out. It does not slide in. If you need to take it out, you undo the screws, take off the bottom cover, and then the ball joint would come off. So I have a working prototype here. The only difference is, so when you do something like this on this hinge, they actually kind of have a little notch here. I'm not sure what that notch is for there, but for basically on mine, there would be another ball joint or something here where the little foot, the little hand piece for the spider tank will be. So that's it. So I've got the ankle worked out, and I've got some other things to figure out, like how he transforms and does a turret. I've got ideas for that. I just don't have it sketched out. I'm not sure how to sketch it out, really. But the way it makes sense to me is like two large pivots. One because the torso needs to reverse because because the cannon is opposite where the flags are, so that needs to go around the other way. But that would be fine, but then you wouldn't be able to turn the turret like it does in the tank. So I need a whole nother one of those so you could be able to spin the turret. So I kind of got a thought on how to do it. I just haven't sketched it out. Let's see. Put the wrecker hammer into the welder port for lift ticket. Feels weird without the music. Oh, is it low? So like this. Yeah, I dig it. So now he can hammer from very far away. You hear the music a little bit better? I turned it up a little bit. I tried to keep it a little bit low so it's not so overpowering. But I've definitely I've had some of my own videos, and I've definitely heard some other people's videos where the music is just so loud and you can't hardly hear. So call Hoist the shovel. He's digging it. Yes, indeed. Yeah. So now he can hammer things from a very far away or up really high. So when he's working on building, helping grapple, or I guess holler. Oh my gosh, I didn't even realize that. So we've got the two buddies, but in different colors. So while holler and grapple are working on stuff, lift ticket can be hammering stuff up very high. You hear the music fine. It didn't make it too loud for you, though, wearing headphones, did I? I went from 20% to 29%. So. So, yeah, I'm pretty excited about the whole Sentience Magnus thing. I kind of wish I was farther along, but I know it's going to be a long road. Even though I'm sketching out some okay, it's good, thanks. Even though I'm sketching out some ideas, actually sketching it out and making real designs that are printable and stuff like that are definitely a long road. It's like, no, up there. Do it up there. Fine. Oh, goodness. Oh, I will say, I was able to get good shots of his bow and his sword, and in fact, I think it was Grand Galvatron shared a leak to me where one of the people who did concepts of that, one of their concepts was for the bow, and even though the bot that the bow is associated with is not what they look like, the bow is almost spot on, and it's really nice side view and front view, which I should be able to make a pattern off of pretty well. And Space Ape was kind enough to share the swords. Excuse me, from side view. Because I asked him if they had designs of the weapons. I was thinking about the guns. They didn't have a lot of it, because trying to get pictures of the weapons as they bots pull them out is tricky because they don't do it that often. But they shared a few, and in what they shared with me was the swords. So front view and side view. So I should be able to do the bow and the sword relatively easily. And it's still going to be a learning challenge because, like I said, all I've ever done is that hammer and nothing else, not even for practice. Well, I suppose the little peg thing too. That wasn't that wasn't too much different than a hammer. So it will. I'll get to it at some point. But I have had I've been busy and been sidelined for various reasons for that have been keeping me from really doing more with it. Um, um, and it's going to be even busier like this weekend and into the next week or whatever, because if you haven't heard, um, the latest NASA rocket, Artemis 1, is actually planning to be launched on Monday. And I am part of that. So I will be busy doing that. And if we're, getting a rocket off the first day, it does happen. But there's always a pretty good chance that it may not happen. So if it does not launch on that first day, I'll be busy and won't be able to stream next week. So that's kind of where I was getting to. So first of all, go to NASA.com and it'll be live. I'm sure it'll probably be on the news anywhere or whatever. So go check out the Artemis 1 rocket on Monday. And if it doesn't launch, there won't be a stream next week because I'll still be working. So fair warning. But if we do manage to light that candle and get that sucker off the pad on Monday, we'll be here. I'll probably be tired, but we'll be here. So it all kind of depends on what happens on Monday, and that's kind of like pretty much all of my plans for the next week or so. It all kind of depends on what happens on that day. So we'll get there. Yeah, and I will actually be inside watching it on the TV on the console, so I won't even be able to get you any kind of nice behind the scenes videos or whatever. I'm pretty sure I got one of the SpaceX launches once. I think that's up on my channel, maybe. So I think I got a SpaceX launch, but I won't be able to do this one. So I'm actually going to be inside there. So. No, I have no idea how to make things combine. It's going to be a miracle if I can actually make this thing transform. I did have the thought of, hey, these guys are supposed to combine, and maybe the sword could combine. At least on the first pass, no. The sword's going to be basically one piece that we can paint. It might need to be two pieces. I don't know. Depends. The bow I've got ideas for, because if you look closely on the either side of because it's kind of split in two pieces. There's a handle and it's kind of got two pieces. On either side, there is there's like fins on either side. And first pass, I'll probably just mold them in, but it might be pretty cool to have them be separate pieces that can be positioned. So I've got ideas. I don't have them all written down, and I've had ideas for a long time. So it's a milestone that I'm actually writing it down. But I've got a lot more in my head that sometimes there's just not enough time to really write down. So thoughts on Headquarters 18? Don't really know much more about it other than the colors, and I think the colors are great. We covered that a little bit earlier, but I know a lot of you guys are coming in a little bit late, so I don't mind answering questions again. So yeah, I think they look great, and you see Skyrain behind me. Yep, you got Skyrain right there, and Galvatronus, and then of course the two new Titans. Fort Max, you can see, is still playing Earth Wars. I put that little. That's actually Stripes. That's actually Stripes. He turned into a little cassette recorder. It's kind of like reminiscent of a cell phone. And when Earth Wars first came out 6 years ago now, I caught the parallel, so I put it in his hand, and I even took a picture over his shoulder and put the Earth Wars image on there. And he's been holding that thing ever for the last 6 years. I actually have Metroplex. He's got I think it's Steeljaw. It's yellow. He's kind of just holding it like a, he's holding it like you normally would a normal phone. He's holding it just kind of like this. So, yeah, you gotta have fun somehow, right? I'll give it some thought. I'll give it some thought. I actually had the thought of how would you possibly make those two bots combine, and really what their design for them, I don't think really lends itself for combining into a larger bot. Whether it's more like a duocon kind of a thing, or whether it's what was it animated? What was it Jetstorm and I can't remember the names. So there are those like the two sibling bots that combined into one large super bot. But I don't think their designs really lend themselves to that. So to me, it's more like merging their sparks. So there would be some magical happening, and then you would take those two bots, and then they would become one entity that might be larger, which for it to be Sentius Nobilius. Jetfire and Jetstorm. Thank you. I knew there was something like that. Um, so, so something like that maybe. So I was thinking maybe once I get them designed and can get them printed, I could just upscale everything and then just call that, with maybe throw some different colors in there, call that Sentius Nobilius. I don't know. So I was also kind of trying to think, another thing I got to work out is how big are these guys going to be? Um, that's kind of crucial when you design it. How big are they going to be? My thoughts were, and it's hard to get a scale from in game because the bots are all good. They're sized based on their class, so not necessarily true representation of their actual physical size. Um, I was thinking. My first thought was maybe Voyager class size, but really, I think what I settled on, and I don't think I showed him off in this mode, but I was thinking more of the size of these guys at least about 8 or 9 inches. So I would say at least as big as these guys. So I think these guys are like 8.5 inches. So I was thinking probably go leader class, like as big as or bigger than the Studio Series Dinobots is probably what I'm going to do. Grand Galvatron is saying Magnus and Malice are the tallest characters so far, excluding Combiners and Titans from what I saw. That's kind of what I was thinking. I mean they're basically gods, so they should be large. They're not Titan large, but they should be large. I might actually whip out that Titans Return Overlord, since Overlord is in the game and he's as a Titan in the game, but he's more leader class size. So I think I'll get some measurements off of those guys, mostly just for height. I have good front views that I got from the game because it turns out if you actually transform them in the game, they come from back from the alt mode to their bot mode. They go into a nice front on kind of an A stance pose, kind of like this. And then I happened to get them as they were separating their arms, so I got a really nice front view that I can get proportions on, as long as I just figure out what the height is going to be. So I got that. Yeah, demigods. Yeah, you know what I mean. That's demigods, exactly, kind of like gods, like Maui from Moana. Let's see. Sentius Nobilius should come to the game as a character that plays on both accounts. That would be kind of cool. I think I'll get to play test the new Titans. I do have access to the playtest account. I don't usually have time to playtest though. But yeah, probably. So if they come show up in the account and we're allowed to show it, I'll definitely show it off on the stream before they release. Right. Yeah, exactly. Most of the time they bend their knees, but this was a really nice front view. I mean, they're in an A stance, so it's not like the full height, but it's close enough that I can kind of extrapolate. But it's straight up torso. The legs are straight, but in an A stance. So yes, that'll actually work out pretty well. Has been chilling elsewhere while chaos goes on with the swarm. Yeah, they're kind of like the watcher now. They got involved around the Prime Core time, but now they're just kind of like the watcher. And they show up in the story every now and then, like Statler and Waldorf with the Muppets, just commenting on how ridiculous things are. So yeah, Sentius, Magnus, and Malice have become the Statler and Waldorf of the Transformers Earth Wars. If you're not familiar with what I'm talking about, in the Muppets, it's the two old guys up there. It's like, oh, yeah, should have gone to a different show, kind of guy. I don't remember any of their jokes, but they're always hilarious. Just specking out a 3D printer for it. Nice when you get to spend company money on cool stuff. Indeed. Why you just imagine them on fancy chairs? Yeah, they are. They're just up in a balcony somewhere in fancy chairs, just looking down on the Autobots and Decepticons struggling through life. Oh boy. The Raise 3D Pro 2. I'm not sure what that is, but there's a lot of threes and pros in there. So if you're looking for something for work, I imagine that one's going to be pretty advanced. I have been watching a lot of 3D printing videos lately, and there's definitely some cool stuff out there, but it's way beyond my my capability and more importantly budget and need level for now. It's a $6,000 printer. Yeah, it's definitely outside of my budget. Super V8 says that the day I get a 3D printer is the day I get room. Yeah, that was what I was always saying. I just decided, it's time, so I made room. And I still would like to, it's a mess, but I definitely want to set aside a more dedicated space so it can be a little bit cleaner and a little bit more room to work. But I've cleared enough space for now. I definitely would like to have a better space for sure. Yeah. Nylon and ABS prototype work. Oh, yeah. I've been watching some of the Zach Friedman videos. I'm sure you've probably seen him if you watch 3D printing videos. Was it Void Star Labs or whatever? First of all, the guy's a real character. He makes really good videos, but he's got this one printer. I don't know what it's called, but I'm pretty sure it might be a custom. He's got some extra tool head or something where it actually can swap out between like different. So it's not just dual extruder. You can actually swap out a completely separate tool head, like with a different you have different filament loaded. It could be a different hot end and everything. So that's some impressive kind of a thing he's got set up there. Yeah, definitely way beyond my level, but it's really cool to see in place. So yeah, and I learned recently that um, 'cause I found some stuff like the those Funby Studios, the Cyberbase system, the poles, has got a lot of supports, and sometimes you got to take them off. Or actually, I have a lot of problems because my surface above supports doesn't come out well. I'm sure I still got some settings to tweak, but found that there was like water soluble filament. So if you had a dual extruder, you can basically just print it exactly perfectly flat, so you definitely get a good surface. And you just dunk the thing in water, and the supports come apart. That would be great to get to, but I think that's that would require an entirely new printer, which is way beyond my budget. So that might be a goal to work on for something to where I basically dual extrude and to just build the supports and then into the design and basically make it completely flush with the next layer, so you get it, so you lay down a good layer. But I've definitely I but then that's kind of cheating, and then I would miss out on those tricks to getting the support layer interface better. So I haven't put a lot of work into it. I've tried a little bit, and I was actually watching some go down, and I could see where it wasn't sticking because, and then I think part of it is the fan. I could see it actually blow on kind of a long bridge. It actually blew the filament to where it was kind of off. So I think maybe putting like getting the fan blowing from both sides might help, or maybe turning the fan down, or I don't know. Uh, Let's really get it out. And 100%, that is immediately obvious to me. The art in 3D printing is getting the slicing settings correct. Not just tuned for your printer, but also you might require a little bit of extra tuning for the individual part. And I'm coming to find that you can actually slice different sections differently. So there are some places where you can set up like, okay, well, this part I might want to be thicker. So like some of the guns, like Firetox was even telling me, it's like if you print some of the guns, you don't necessarily need infill very high for the main part, but your handles you should print it 100%. So you can add this block, and I'm sure you know this, but for anybody else who doesn't know, you can add this block to block out just like the handle and maybe a part of the part where it attaches, and make that 100%. And then everything else can be like a normal 20 or 30% infill. So that's pretty cool. What I ended up doing with my hammer is I just added walls, so to where the whole entire handle was just walls, and then, there's no infill in the handles. I just added it. It's 5 millimeters of walls, well 4.9, I guess. So yeah, Super VH is saying we're speaking total gibberish. Yeah. Uh, uh, yeah, I haven't quite got to doing different profiles. What I have been doing is as I slice a particular thing, I've been saving it as a project. So so when I go change my settings for something else and I want to go back and maybe reprint something else or tweak something else, I can pull that back up with the settings I did on the original part, and then go from there instead of having to, oh, what did I slice that at? So I started doing that. So I haven't set up particular profiles yet, but I am saving them as projects, which is kind of something like that, but not exactly. So yeah, sorry about the 3D printing gibberish there. Oh man. Doing handles vertically for detailing, but the long thin shaft is stronger laying on the bed, keeping layers along the long axis of the long. Yes, exactly. So that's one of the first things that I was told is the shafts. You can kind of see the layer lines are horizontal there because that makes it stronger. If you were to print vertical, because it would make a lot of sense, just set it like this and print up, but then all the layer lines would be vertical cross like this. It'd be very easy to snap. But with this, that force that I'm putting on that would snap it if I had printed it vertically. But since the layer lines are this way, it makes it much stronger along that direction. So it's probably the same kind of thing that you're doing. So I imagine you kind of got like a center shaft, and that's what you do for the structure, and probably wrap it with the detail. Yeah. So that was the first thing that they says, like, if you're gonna do weapons, lay it down like this. Hate Overlord. He is evil. Yep. Oh my. Well, now that we've lost everybody with our 3D printing gibberish, I think it's probably getting to be about time to head on out of here. And we got another 3D printing or 3D printing adjacent person here. Girlfriend prints wands. Cool. I'm like Blur right now. Yeah, I know. When I get excited, I talk fast. It's funny. If you were to meet me in person, I would be very quiet. If you've ever seen me on if you've ever seen me on like the shows with Patriot Prime and those guys talk a lot. I'm usually sitting there smiling, just listening to everything going on. I'll jump in when I can, but I tend to be the person that sits back and lets people talk. In fact, that I do the same thing at work. If everybody else can figure things out, I'm happy. I'm there listening. I'm paying attention. But if they can work it out themselves, that's happy. I will interject when I think something is important, but most of the time I don't even say anything. But yeah, it's kind of the same thing. Like if I'm in a group, I'm usually the quiet one in the group. But that's a nice thing about being on the stream by myself. I'm the only one who's doing the talking, so I kind of need to do the talking. And yeah, even if you do meet me in person, it kind of depends what we're talking about. Yeah, Red Alerts met me in person. So it's kind of different because we're there. We've got a common ground and we're buddies. So it's a little bit different. But I mean, if it's just kind of, I'm shy and awkward. So I tend to not be, particularly talkative. I tend to keep to myself and be quiet or whatever. But if you get me going on a subject that I know a lot about and you're willing to listen, I'll talk a mile a minute. And you're hearing that right now. But sometimes I'm talking and if I might be explaining something to somebody and you get that kind of like the eyes glazed over, it's like, okay, you're not following me or you don't want to hear me, and then I'll slow down and just kind of end it there or whatever. But yeah, I mean, if I'm excited and telling about something and you're actually interested, I'll go a mile a minute, and it's easy to do when you're doing a stream alone because you're the only one talking. So very much not quiet in person. Yeah. What about the loot links? The loot links, you go over to Discord. We've got giveaways going. If you join my Discord channel, you go over to the giveaways channel. It's #giveaways. And you click the little celebrating icon or whatever, and you'll be entered for a giveaway. I actually had a lot more left over for the end of the month than I realized. So there's I think 18 up for grabs. So there's going to be a lot of people getting loot links, and the drawing will end tomorrow about 6 p.m. or so Eastern time. So that's what you got to do. You got to go over to Discord. Link is in the description. Go over to the #giveaways channel. And if you can't find it, ask somebody, and they'll point you over that direction. And you click the little celebrate icon, and you're entered. And then if you win, I'll send it to you via PM in Discord. Let's see. Okay. Uh-oh. When you're done, go look at General on Discord. Lol, hee hee. Oh boy, what are you guys up to? Well, I guess we got to go because I got to go check out the shenanigans they're getting up to over in the Discord server. I think that's, so that's going to do it. I'm just kidding. I about knocked that broken light over again. I saved it this time. But yeah, that's going to do it. I'm Engineer Hoist. Keep rolling, my friends. We'll see you next time.